In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today's lesson is for second secondary grade, first semester, English subject, Unit 2, form, meaning and function. We will learn today past simple, past progressive, and the uses of past with used to. Now we have two men speaking. The first one is asking, "What did you do yesterday?" He is asking about something yesterday. The man is thinking of football here. So, what do you think the answer is? Here's the answer. What do you think he will say? I play or I played? The answer is I played football. Now, before we move to talk about tenses, we should know something, we call it timeline. This is timeline. This we call it timeline. And the line in the center represents now. This line represents now. For example, for this timeline, X here, before now, it represents what? It represents what? Past. Excellent. This is past simple. And what about this? Future, of course. Excellent. What if the action happens regularly? We call this thing, or we call this tense, present simple. And if the action took time in the past, we call it past progressive. So this is the idea of timeline. It expresses the tenses. Now, what is simple past tense? We use simple past tense to express the idea that an action started and finished at specific time in the past. So, this is the past. The boy climbed the mountain yesterday. Climbed. Look, ed. With the past we use ed. Usually we use ed with the past. But sometimes we have irregular verbs. Like forget. The past of forget is forgot. Nathali forgot to lock the door last night. To express the past, we use we have sometimes expressions like yesterday, last night, last week. These are expressing what? Or these are time expressions for the past. The verb to be. When we want to use the verb to be in the past, we change am and is to be was, are to were. So was is the past tense of is the past of am and is. And where is the past of are. We have some examples. How were the burglars caught? Because it is plural here, we used where. There were security cameras everywhere. If we want to use the singular form of the subject is singular, no S here, it is singular, so we use what? Was. This is question, and this is question too. Was the pickpocket sorry for his crime? Yes, he was. So we used was for the singular subject. We have some regular verbs and irregular verbs. Examples of regular verb is did. Irregular verb did, and for regular verbs we add ed, like arrested. So the present of this word is arrest without ed, but we add ed to express what? To say that this happened in the past. Use what? We added ed. Many words to change it to past we add ed, but some like do, did, go, and what's the past of go? Think about go. What is the past of go? Excellent, went, excellent. We don't say goed. Goed is wrong. So the past of go is went. We use the simple past tense to talk about something that happened once in the past. For example, I met the king in 1983. This is something happened once in the past. And of course, meet is a regular verb, and it is the past of met. We went to Spain for our holiday. So this is something happened once. And the past form of go is went. Also, we use the simple past tense for something that happened again and again in the past. For example, they always enjoyed visiting their friends. So this thing happened again and again. They always enjoyed visiting their friends. And of course, enjoy is regular verb. Why we said it is regular? Because we added ed in the past. We swam a lot while we were on holiday. So on holiday, when they were on the holiday, they swam a lot. So this thing happened again and again. And of course, swam is a regular verb because we didn't add ed. Okay, also we use the simple past tense for something that was true for some time in the past. we say I lived abroad for 10 years. This thing happened once, or this thing was true for some time. Also, another example, she played a lot of tennis when she was younger. Play is regular verb. Also, we use past simple tense for something that was true for some time in the past. Example, I lived abroad for 10 years. So, this thing was true for some time in the past. And of course, live is regular verb because we added ed here. She played a lot of tennis when she was younger. So this thing was true for some time. Here are the differences between simple present and simple past. We have 3 examples. First example is an affirmative sentence. In simple present, we say, you live in Spain. And in simple past, we say, you lived in Spain. In negative, we say, they don't live in Spain. In the past, they didn't. So note here. Don't, didn't. Here live became lived. So here we just change the verb. Live, lived. And here we change the auxiliary verb do to did. And in question, in present simple, we say, do I live in Spain? And in simple past, we say, did I live in Spain? If the subject is singular third person, like he, she, or it, we will have some differences. With simple present, we say he lives in Spain. And in simple past, we say he lived in Spain. In negative, she doesn't live in Spain. While in the past, she didn't live in Spain. In question, we say, does he live in Spain? And in the simple past, we say, did he live in Spain? So, in the simple past, there is no change. Verbs doesn't change. But with simple present, there we add s or es. Complete the conversation. Use the past tense of the verb in the parentheses. Now we have conversation between Fahad and Imad. Fahad says, what happened to you yesterday? What do you think the answer will be? What happened to you yesterday? Because we have yesterday here. Now, so because the question is in the past, the answer of course will be in the past. So what's the past form of go? What's the past form of go? I went to Falcons football game and pickpocket, steal or stole my wallet. Because it is in the past, of course you would say stole my wallet. Oh no, do. I want you to use the word do. You call the police. Can we say do or did or does? Of course did, because it is in the past. Did you call the police? Yes. And they catch. What's the past of catch? Caught the thief. That's great. How do they catch him? What's the past form of do? Did. How did they catch him? Their security cameras. Note, it is here plural. So there, what's the past form of be? Either was or were. Was for the singular and were for the plural. So the answer will be were. Now, think about used to. What do we mean by used to? When do we use used to? How do we use used to? So, according to this timeline, something happened in the past, continued in the past, and stopped in the past. So we used to plus be to talk about past states that are no longer true. For example, I used to be afraid of elevators. So now, is he afraid of elevators? Of course not. This is something happened in the past. Past states. So if it is with be, we use it is about past states that no longer true. To make question, what did you used to be afraid of when you were younger? This is the question. What did you used to be afraid of when you were younger? The answer, I used to be afraid of elevators. I always took the stairs instead. We use used to plus verb. This time is with verb, not with be, to talk about past habits that are no longer true. For example, I used to travel to a new place every year. I didn't used to like it much, and now I prefer to stay in one place. So this is something happening in the past. He used to travel to new places. Now he's not traveling. In the past he didn't used to like it much, and now he preferred to stay in one place. To make a question, we can say, did you used to travel a lot in your job? So in questions we started with did and we remove the D from use. And the answer of course will be yes, I used to travel, or no, I didn't used to travel. Now, I want you to ask and answer about how Umar's life has changed. Use used to and didn't used to. First, we want you to make a question, then you use used to, then make it in negative form. Umar watched TV every day. Now he goes to the gym. Question: how often did Umar used to watch Crime Dreams on TV? To use used to, he used to watch TV every day. And to make it negative, he didn't used to go to the gym. The other sentence, Umar ate a lot of junk food. Now he eats fruits instead. To make a question, how often did Umar used to eat junk food. And the affirmative form, we say he used to eat a lot of junk food, and the negative form, he didn't used to eat fruit instead. Now, think about past progressive. It is close from used to. Past progressive, I'll give you now two examples. The first example is for simple past or past simple. He says, I traveled by the bus this morning. And another example, this example is for past progressive. I was waiting at the bus stop. So he went or he traveled and he was waiting. Now he traveled to by the bus and he was waiting at the bus stop. We use past progressive when we describe what was happening at a specific time in the past. For example, what were you doing at 3 o'clock today? I was driving home from work. So this thing what happening at specific time. So if something happening at specific time or was happening at specific time, we can use what? The past progressive. Was, were, plus verb, plus ing. And to make question, we can use was or were. Were for the plural and was for the singular. We use the past progressive when we talk about temporary state or action in the past. Example, have you always lived in Riyadh? No, a few years ago I was living in Dubai. So he asked about something temporary. He says, no, I was living. Another question, what were you doing in Dubai? I was working. So both of them are what? Happening in temporary. We use also the past progressive with always to describe a repeated or annoying action. So always for repeated or annoying actions. For example, my neighbor's son was always getting into trouble. So this is something annoying. Getting into trouble. So he used what? Always. We use the past progressive to describe a long action that is interrupted by a short action. For example, I was working on my computer when suddenly the power went out. So this action is longer. This is longer action. Longer action, which is what? Was working. When my computer when suddenly the power went out, this is the action that interrupted the longer action. Also, we use the past progressive to describe two actions that were happening at the same time. For example, I was studying, my brother was watching. While I was studying, my brother was watching TV. So these two actions were happening at the same time. Now, complete these blanks. What you do at 3 p.m. yesterday? The answer is what were you and you should add ing with the verb following was or were. So we were doing, what were you doing at 3 p.m. yesterday, Mr. Wilkinson? I in the supermarket. So we say I was in the supermarket. I buy. What's the past form of buy? I bought milk. Okay, the policeman is asking about what was happening. Who you shop with at that time? The answer will be who were shopping with at that time. I shop with anyone. So he will use simple past. I didn't shop with anyone. I was alone. At 3 p.m. a security guard saw you outside the ski and snow store. You park your car. You what? Is that true? You parked. Okay, thank you for your attending this lesson. Today we studied the uses, the affirmative and negative form of past simple and used to and past progressive. These are some examples. Example of past simple: I lived abroad for 10 years. The past form of used to: I used to be afraid of elevator. And the example of past progressive: while I was studying, my brother was watching TV. These are the references. Thank you for your attendance. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.